have a block or a big thick book handy, you might want it. Child's pose might feel nice enough just on its own, and if that's the case, that's fine. But if you're looking for just a little bit more, you want to start to open up the chest and the shoulders. You can start to think about bringing both of your elbows down towards your block. And if you have two blocks, you can use two, one under each elbow. We'll bring the palms together and allow the forehead to sink. So just making your way into child's pose. And again, elevating the elbows up on a block if that feels nice. I hope you've all had a decent-ish Monday. So just as anybody new is arriving, find yourself a nice, comfortable, wide-ish legged child's pose. And if you have a book or a block, we'll use that just to open up through the back of the heart. So the elbows are elevated and the head drops between the arms. Now it's a really nice sensation if you have two blocks, so you can use one block under each elbow. And we'll just start to connect to the breath here. Breathing deeply. And if at any point this sensation with that slight elevation underneath the elbows is too much, in that you cannot breathe deeply, or that it sort of feels uncomfortable to breathe deeply, that's a good indication that it's just not, it's a little too deep. So we can ditch the blocks and maybe just take the elbows a little further, still maintaining that hands to prayer, fingers to the sky. And we'll breathe into this opening here. Just letting any tension start to melt away from the shoulders. Deepening your inhales and lengthening your exhales. And if your forehead has made contact with the mat, this is right where the point of the third eye is, our higher self, our deepest inner wisdom. And so give that a little massage. Just rub the forehead left to right along the mat, freeing up any tension in your neck. And start to just notice anything that's going on in the background. Anything that is going to inevitably become a part of your practice, just so that you can make peace with it now instead of being frustrated by it later. And so if you could see what I'm seeing now, my husband is playing with the dog simultaneously. And this sometimes is just what our practice looks like. So whether you've got kids crawling all over you, or pets, or loud noises, or no privacy, or whatever, welcome it in. It's all part of the practice. And our idea ultimately is to transmute that. Now, normally when we come to the mat, the distractions that we have are mostly physical or mental, in that the body might be feeling tight or uncomfortable, or that the mind is racing. And so those are typically the challenges that we face. When we practice from home, it's a little bit different, because we've got all of the familiarity of our surroundings, and it sort of changes the way that our practice feels. And so this is a beautiful opportunity to really transmute at a higher level, so that you can really focus on being present. Let your breath move in and out in this way. Deepening your inhales and lengthening your exhales. And from our child's pose, we're going to start to move up and out. Using our block now in a little bit of a different way. We're going to come down onto the back. So having your block, we're going to have it just sideways like this on its lowest height. And we'll come all the way down on top, so that the block comes just kind of towards where the shoulder blades are, so that we can really lift the heart up, dropping the head back down. And so that's if you have a block or a book. starting to just breathe here. And we're going to be focusing this evening, kind of the same as the first class I did last week, focusing on the heart chakra, on heart opening. And for those of you that don't know about the chakras, your chakra system is your energetic body. And it's very subtle. It's not as gross as a lot of the dense physicality of the world that we live in, the material world. Your chakra system is an energetic system, and it affects everything, every aspect of the way that we live our lives, from our physical health to our emotional health. And you can think of the chakra system almost like the nervous system, where it has this kind of major highway that runs up and down along the spine, and then all these little tentacles that go out, these little veins, these little networks that go out and gather information, bringing it back to these initial sources. And so we look at the chakra system with just 7 or 8 basic chakras, but there are hundreds of them. And in the human body, we're working with the ones from the base of the tailbone up to about just below the navel, just above the navel. Heart chakra, where we are tonight, throat chakra, third eye, and crown. And we even have an 8th that extends outside of the crown of the head. And the idea with these are they're vortexes, spinning wheels of light. And when they become congested, we can have some issues, manifestations of emotions perhaps that are unwanted, or manifestations of physical illness. And so the heart space is not only important in this whole kind of chakra system, but it's also where we contain what Eastern philosophy believes to be our one of 3 minds. So they believe that we have the mind, the thinking mind, the heart mind, and the gut mind. And so that heart chakra is this intelligence that companies like HeartMath are starting to identify, that the electromagnetic frequency of the heart, the physical organ, creates this auric field, which we've known about for centuries in Eastern philosophies. And yet science is now able to explain some of these phenomena. So there's these beautiful things coming forward with kind of merging science and spirit in this way. So breathe deeply here and feel your rib cage expand. Feel the shoulders heavy themselves down into the mat. We're just going to move through a bit of a flow that allows us to kind of open up the front and the back side of the heart so that we can really free up the energy in these locations and start to radiate more so from the heart mind, so that instead of reacting from the physical mind with everything that's going on, we're going to be more heart-centered, dropping from the head and into the heart. So find your last big breath here. You can lift and remove that bolster, or that block rather, or book from underneath your back. And then just place it off to the side. And we'll start to make our way up to seated, taking your time to get there, maybe bending your knees and bringing them into your belly first. You might rock and roll side to side or up and down along the spine, making your way up to seated in whatever way feels the best for you. And from your seated position, we'll bring hands towards the knees. Legs crossed, Sukhasana, just an easy pose. Now, for a lot of us, this does not feel very easy, and so if you feel that your spine is already starting to round, take your block or your book and just come to seated up on top of that. And that little bit of elevation, you should notice right away the spine gets nice and tall. So the props are always there in our practice to support us. It's not taking the easy way. It's really to make sure that anatomically we're doing no harm to the body. Now lift your shoulders up, back, and down. Find your breath. And on an inhale, we're going to move through a few rounds of seated cat-cow. So your hands to your knees or your thighs. As you breathe in, you'll bend your elbows, gently pull on the knees so that you can offer your heart forward, lifting the chin towards the sky or where the wall meets the ceiling. Squeeze the elbows back and in towards the ribs. And then as you exhale, sit back on your block or on your sit bones, chin to your chest, round the spine. Inhaling to lift the heart, draw it forward. Exhale around the spine. Inhale, drawing forward. Exhale around the spine. Last 2 times. Inhale to lift the heart. Exhale around. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, rounding the spine. On our next big breath in, we'll lift up and just change the position of our legs. So if you're seated on a block, you can stay there and just bring the knees together, coming into thunderbolt pose. So we'll just come to seated on our shins. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more sensation for the feet, you can tuck the toes here. And then from here, take the hands just behind the body and interlace the hands. And see if you can sit down towards your heels. This might mean untucking your toes so that you can do that. And wherever you are, on your inhale, extend your arms back, lifting your heart. So you might even hover the arms here. And with the heart lifting, think about the shoulders squeezing together, offering the ribs forward. In and out through the nose. Big breath here. Now, with our exhale, we'll start to bring the crown of the head down towards the mat, resting the wrists. So finding ourselves into child's pose now. Shoulders draped down underneath the knees. And just rest the head, maybe rolling left to right with the forehead. And we'll find a nice big breath here. And then as we exhale, start to rise, lifting the heart once more. Big breath, hovering the hands behind you, straight arms if you can. And then exhale, release the hands down in front. And we'll make our way into tabletop, taking the knees directly underneath the hips, the wrists directly underneath the shoulders. And on our next breath in, toes can be tucked or untucked, your choice. Lift your tail, drop your belly, and pull the heart forward. See if you can hold here and find the sensation that the heels of your hands are pulling towards your knees. Inhale once again. And then exhale, really slowly start to tuck the tail, round the spine, chin towards the chest. Rock side to side here and just feel the sensation behind the shoulder blades. And then on your next inhale, lift your tail, drop your belly, tilt your pelvis, pour your heart forward. Exhaling to round the spine. Move in this way, inhaling to lift the heart and exhaling to round the spine. Last 5 rounds, move with your own breath, and maybe you might add a little bit of momentum for hips and shoulders. Maybe shifting left to right, finding any additional movement here that feels really nice in the body as you link your breath to your movement. Be sure to stay hydrated as we move through our time together. And at any point that you need a break, you can find child's pose. Or anything for that matter, because I can't see you. So from here, finishing up our last round, and we'll meet in tabletop. From our tabletop, walk the knees back, nice and long, preparing to move all the way to the belly. And as we exhale, bend your elbows, pull them back towards your hip line, squeeze the ribs. See if you can hover the shoulders for just a moment, and then all the way to the belly. Now untuck your toes, press the tops of the feet down into the mat so strong that the kneecaps lift up and the quads are engaged. Walk your hands back. Turn your palms down, fingertips towards the outer edges of the thighs. On a breath in, lift your heart. Walk your fingertips back and or hover the hands here. Can you think about the shoulders moving away from the ears and the pinky fingers moving towards one another? Find your breath. Lifting with your inhales and lowering just slightly with the exhales. Gaze comes just at the front of your yoga mat. Last big breath here. And with the exhale, place the hands beside the ribs, tuck the toes. Press back, child's pose. And downward facing dog. Now take your time in your downward dog to bend into one knee and then the other. Allowing your breath to expand. Ribs get wide. And as you look towards your palms, they're widespread. Thumb and the index finger are taking the root of all of your weight. Connecting with your breath. Another 5 breaths. Any additional movements that we need here to find a little bit more space, a little bit more comfort in the body. We might bend the knees and press the ribs towards the legs. We might lift the hips and the heels really high and then lower the heels down. We might shift forwards to plank and back to down dog. Maybe lifting one leg and then the other. Just any and all movements that feel good in your body. There's no right or wrong way. Now with our next breath in, look forward and begin to walk the feet to meet the hands at the very top of the mat. Soften your knees and bring your belly to your thighs. Grab a hold of opposite elbows here and hang the head heavy. And you might nod yes and no. You might shrug the shoulders or find a few back strokes or front strokes. Find a nice breath in. Release your hands and take them interlaced just at the low back. As you breathe in, lift knuckles to the sky, maybe even drifting them forwards. Finding your breath. Big inhale. And then exhale, use your knuckles to guide you all the way up to standing. Turning your palms forward. Look down, lift and spread your toes. And then place them down nice and wide so we're rooted into all 4 corners of the sole of the foot. Soft knees, quads engaged, low belly lifts, shoulders up, back, and down. On the inhale, sweep the arms to the sky. Interlace all but the pointer fingers and start to reach back. Fingertips reach, hips press forward. Find a big breath here. And as we exhale, fold forward, belly to thighs. Inhale, lift halfway, bring your hands to your shins, slide your shoulders back, gaze down. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back to plank pose. Now stacking your shoulders above your wrists, tucking your tail so that your belly is engaged, and lifting the space at the back of the heart up towards the sky. Find a big breath in. Knees down or straight legs. Exhale all the way to the belly. Pull your elbows back and in towards your rib cage and try not to let your hips drop first. From here, take your palms underneath your shoulders, untuck your toes. And as you breathe in, really lightly press into your palms and just draw your shoulders back. Now see if from here in your cobra pose, you can hover the palms. That might require you to come a little lower. There we go. Yeah, squeeze the shoulders in and back. Elbows to the ribs. Lift the heart. Find all of those muscles for the back of the body. And on your next breath in, reach your arms forward. And as you exhale, draw them back. Inhale to reach. Exhale, draw them back. Last time, inhale, reach forward. Exhale, draw the arms back, plant the palms down, tuck the toes, press back through child's pose or up through plank, hips back, downward dog. Reconnect to your breath. In and out through the nose. As you breathe in next, look forward. Soften the knees and step, hop, or float to the top of your mat. Inhaling, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana, straight spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise all the way up. Interlace all but the pointer finger. And then reach tall. Exhale, hips forward, arms back. Big breath here. Exhale, fold. Belly to thighs. Hands to shins, halfway lift, breathe in, straight spine, gaze down. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back to plank. Now find yourself in a nice sturdy plank, knees down or straight legs, your choice. Big breath here. And as you exhale, again, let's lower all the way to the belly. Untuck the toes, press the tops of the feet down, feel the quads engage, kneecaps lift. Walk your palms under your shoulders. Inhale, gently press into your hands, not too much because we're gonna hover those hands, so don't come too high. Feel the elbows move in towards the ribs, lift the palms. Soften your neck. And then inhale, reach forward. Exhale, draw the elbows back and lift. Inhale, reach. Exhale, draw them back. Last time, inhale, reach forward. Exhale, draw them back. And then plant the palms beside the ribcage, tuck the toes, press back, child's pose or plank into downward dog. Reconnect with your breath. In and out through the nose. On your next breath in, look forward. Soften your knees, step, hop, or float to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Belly to thighs. Hands to shins, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise all the way up. Interlace the hands, pointer fingers, reach tall, tuck the tail, breathe in. Exhale, reach back. Find a big breath here. Exhale, fold. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, inhale, breathe. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back to plank. Last flow here. Lifting the space between your shoulder blades, tucking your tail, knees down or straight legs. Exhale all the way to the belly, elbows graze the ribs on your way down. Palms under shoulders, untuck the toes, press the tops of the feet down, kneecaps lift, inhale, press into palms really lightly. Draw your shoulders back and down, hover the palms. Now feel the whole back of the body charge up. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, draw those elbows back, lift the heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend the elbows. Last time, inhale, reach. Exhale, draw those elbows back, plant the palms beside the ribs, tuck the toes, press back, child's pose, plank pose, or downward facing dog. That's where we'll meet. Breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And again, child's pose, or play with your kid's pose, or play with your animal pose. Taking everything that you need as you need it as we move through our practice. And when you're ready, we'll meet in forward fold, either from your downward facing dog, looking forward, breathing in, and stepping or hopping to the top of the mat. Belly to thighs as we fold. Hands to shins, lifting halfway, straight spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise all the way. Exhale, hands to heart center now. Close the eyes down. And just feel the energy at the heart. Feel the energy in the back of the body, the shoulder blades. The way that the blood is coursing through the veins. This is all heart magic. Big breath here. Exhale, release your palms. On your next inhale, bend your knees, sweep your fingertips forwards, tuck your tail. Find Utkatasana, chair pose. So sink deep and see if you can shift your knees back. Look down, lift your toes, spread them wide and set them down one at a time if you can. Find your breath. Inhale fully. Exhale, fold, belly to thighs. Inhale, halfway lift, straight spine. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back to plank. Now find a big breath here in your plank pose. And you have the option, we're gonna move into side plank on the right side. So you have the option to come down to your right knee and just kickstand right toes out to the side. And come onto the right hand, extending the left leg. That's one option. You also have the option to keep that right leg straight. So finding your breath wherever you are, I'm going to focus on opening the heart here. So see if you can lift the hips and maybe draw the left elbow back, turning the heart up. Now, if wild thing is in your practice, this is the perfect time to find it. Otherwise, maybe you simply just lift your left leg, bend your left knee, and just step the sole of that left foot behind the right. Hips lift, maybe moving into wild thing. If full wheel is in your practice, feel free. Opening the heart. Last big breath. Wherever you have found yourself, look down and come right back into your full plank pose. Knees down or straight legs, big breath in. Exhale, lower all the way to the belly. Untuck the toes. Let's walk the hands back once more. This time as we inhale, lift the heart. Reach the fingers back. See if you can take pinky edges closer together. And then this time, lift the feet. Find your breath. Feel the whole backside of the body charge up. Make sure your fingers are extended, your toes are extended, lots of energy moving through all of your extremities. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. You're breathing, and if you're really breathing, you're bobbing like a little boat, inhaling and exhaling. Last big breath here. Exhale, plant the palms beside the ribs, tuck the toes, knees down or straight legs, press up and back, downward dog. Reconnecting to your breath. On our next inhale, lift your right leg. Drop the knee into your belly. Round your spine. Look towards the knee. Maybe the nose comes to the knee. Exhale, extend the leg back. Again, inhale, nose to knee. Round the spine. Shift forward your shoulders. Stack your wrists. Exhale, kick back. Last one, inhale, knee to nose. This time, stay here. Round your spine a little more and step, hop, or help your right foot between your hands. Now from here, we're gonna lower the back heel down and in. Sweep the arms high. Finding warrior one. So in our warrior one, the back foot has about a 45-degree angle and the two heels are in line with one another. Slide your right shoulder back. Find your breath. Can you press into the outer edge of your back foot? In and out through the nose. And by a nice big breath in, let your left hand release down your left leg. Reach the right hand high, breathe in. And this time we're going to take the right hand behind the head. Breathe in, lift and lengthen, taking your right elbow up as you exhale. Reaching right elbow to the sky. Exalted warrior. And you sink into your right knee. Big breath here. And then with the exhale, right elbow comes right down towards right knee. Make sure that your right palm is extended. Reach the left arm up and forwards. Turn your pinky edge down. So make sure right hand's not just hanging out. You might even take a mudra here. Thumb and index finger come together. And then notice if right ear is resting on right shoulder and press up and out. Find your breath. Inhale here. And as we exhale, sweep left hand all the way back up. Let's find warrior two. Slide your back heel in just a little bit. Big breath in. And as we exhale, straighten through that left leg. You want to leave a little tiny micro bend, and if the hamstrings are tight, it'll be more than a micro bend. But see if you can start to tilt right hip back. So the hips shift, right hip comes back, right arm reaches forward. Notice a straight line for the side body. And then just flip the hand. So the back of the right hand comes to the inside of the right shin, left arm rises. Trikonasana. You might even grab your shin if that feels a little bit more sturdy. If you're looking for a little bit more support, your block or your book works here as well. Now we can take left hand to the back of the head if that feels okay. And really press the head back, just opening that upper left chest. Find a big breath in. And as we exhale, let's release right back up to warrior two. Inhale here. Exhale, windmill the hands down. Come to plank pose. And this time on our plank, we're going to choose our variation for left side plank. So again, you might bring left knee down, take toes out to the side, roll over onto the left hand. Alternatively, you might keep the left leg straight. Finding your breath. Lifting up and out of your left shoulder. And then again, we might take right hand to the head and think about turning the heart up towards the sky, any amount. If Wild Thing is in your practice, you can find that. Or lift your right leg, bend your right knee, step the sole of the foot behind the left knee, and lift the hips. Breathing in and out through the nose. And if full wheel is in your practice, now's a great time. Deepening your breath. Big breath in. Wherever you have found yourself, look down, make your way back to plank. A nice big inhale. And exhale, lower all the way to the belly. Now again, walk the hands behind you. This is the last time. Untuck the toes. Press the tops of the feet down into the mat. Inhale, start to peel shoulders up and back. Reach your fingertips back, hovering the hands, palms face down. Gazing just in front of your yoga mat. And let's see if we can add the legs. So lifting legs. And see if everything could be engaged. Legs are as straight as you can get them. Toes are sending energy. Fingers are sending energy. And your little breath is rocking your little boat up and down. Now we can hold this one, or we can begin to bend into the knees, reach for the feet, and find our boat pose. Let your breath move in and out. Last big breath here. As we exhale, let's lower down. Take the palms beside the ribs. Tuck the toes, press the knees down, child's pose, or up through plank, downward facing dog. In and out through the nose. When you're ready, left leg rises. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, shift forward. Shoulders stack the wrists. Extend the leg, exhale. Inhale, knee to nose, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. Last time, inhale, knee to nose. And with your exhale, step, hop, or help. Left foot between the hands. Pull your back heel down and in. Let your arms rise, warrior one. So right away, the shoulders are going to be off. So see if you can slide your left shoulder back in line with your right. Sink into your left knee. Press into the outer edge of your back foot. So your left foot is facing forwards. Straight ankle. And your right heel slides back away from the toe line. There's a 45 degrees for the back foot. So your toes are pointing forwards towards the upper right corner. Find your breath. In and out through the nose. Sink into that left knee. And then with your exhale, right hand releases down the right leg. Left arm to the sky. And then take the left palm to the back of the head. Drive the elbow up towards the sky as you lean back. Exalted warrior. Sink into that left knee. Big breath here. And as we exhale, left elbow, left knee, right arm reaches up and forwards. Turn your pinky edge down, slide your shoulder away from your ear. And notice if left shoulder is coming to left ear, press into the elbow. Inhale and exhale. Nice long side body. And with the exhale, sweep that right hand back behind you. Lift your back heel and take the outer edge of your right foot now parallel to the back of the mat. Left toes point forward. Warrior two, shoulders up, back, and down. Big breath here. Then exhale, straighten through that left leg. Again, a little tiny micro bend. And then we're gonna reach forward with left fingertips as we slide left hips back. So left hip really needs to come back. And then it's just an inversion of the arms. The left wrist presses into the inner left shin, and the right arm rises. And we might even bring left hand towards left shin or ankle, or maybe left hand towards block or book. Now make sure that the hips are continuing. Left hip slides back. Find your breath here. And maybe right hand to the back of the head, pressing head into hand. Last few breaths. Left hip slides back. Inhale fully. And as you exhale, come right back up, warrior two. Take a breath here. And then exhale, windmill the hands down. Planting the palms, stepping back to plank. Find a big breath here. And exhale all the way to the belly. Now untuck your toes. And we're gonna take the right arm out to the right side. So the right wrist is in line with the right shoulder. And if this is too much for the shoulders, you can lower the wrist in the direction of the hips. But we'll start to press with the left hand so that we can roll onto our right side. And then the right temple might come down towards a block or towards the mat. Now we've got some options for the legs. We could pull the knees into the belly for sort of a fetal position. Or we could lift the right leg, bend the right knee, just like that wild thing. Place the sole of the foot back behind the right leg. So left knee points towards the sky. And maybe left arm rises. And we can find this passive opening, or you can bend into left elbow, take the back of the hand to the low back. So just finding your breath here. In and out through the nose. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Deepening the inhales and lengthening the exhales. And let your body become heavy here. Ribs expand and contract. We'll find another 3 big breaths before switching to the other side. Opening all of the surrounding facets of the heart. Find your final inhale. And as you exhale, allow your body to roll back to your belly. And then simply just switch sides. So now your left arm comes out to the side. And your right fingertips place themselves just under right shoulder. And just press and roll onto that left side body. And again, you can choose to bring your knees into your chest. You can choose to lift that right top leg, bending the knee, taking the sole of the foot behind you, knee to the sky. And the right arm might reach up, just kind of hanging heavy. Or you might bend the elbow and place it just at the low back. allowing breath to expand and contract. I'm going to read to you really quickly from a book called The Anatomy of the Spirit by Carolyn Myss. The energy of the heart chakra communicates to us the knowledge that love is the only authentic power. Not only our minds and spirits, but our physical bodies require love to survive and thrive. We violate this energy when we act towards others in unloving ways. When we harbor negative emotions towards others or towards ourselves, or when we intentionally create pain for others, we poison our own physical and spiritual systems. By far, the strongest poison to the human spirit is the inability to forgive oneself or another. It disables a person's emotional resources. The challenge inherent within this chakra is to refine our capacity to love others as well as ourselves, and to develop the power of forgiveness. Take a nice big breath in. And then roll right over onto your belly. And from your belly, we're going to reach both arms forward. Taking the elbows directly under the shoulders for Sphinx pose. And so elbows come under shoulders, shoulder width apart. Toes untucked, tops of the feet pressed down, legs are engaged. Press your palms down. And think for a moment here about pressing your pubis bone down or tucking your tail, whatever way makes more sense. So as your pubis bone presses down, your low belly lifts. And then press into your palms as if you could pull your heart forwards, up and forwards. Pubis bone is engaged and pressing down. Elbows and forearms are pressing down. See if you could lower your low ribs. Think of the great Sphinx. And find your breath. Everything is actively and engaged. We're not just hanging out here with shoulders towards the ears. Press down. Lift up and out of your shoulder sockets. Find this beautiful, strong posture. Last few breaths. Really find the engagement for your full body here. Heart lifts, shoulders lower, pressing down, down into the mat. Now with your next breath in, look down, lift your palms and take them to the widest edges of your mats. And then from there, elbows might lift up, maybe a little, maybe arms straighten. Whatever we find here, allow the chin to drop towards the chest. Shoulders down away from ears. You might even roll the head left to right. Releasing any tension from the neck, the shoulders. Allowing the heart to lift and infusing the heart with the energy of love, of forgiveness. Letting go here of any restrictions or tensions in this area of the body. And then as we exhale, let's start to lower all the way back down. We'll take the palms and place them beside the ribs, tucking the toes. Let's press back to child's pose. And just allow the body to rest. Maybe the knees come together here to counter that little bit of a back bend. And feel your belly against your legs. Feel your ribs expand and contract. Feel the chest lift and lower, and just breathe. Resisting the urge to entertain any distractions right now. Find a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, drag heavy hands all the way back until you're seated on your heels. And then we'll lift up to kneeling from seated on the heels. And from up here, we'll take the hands towards the low back. Knees are hip bone width apart. Toes are tucked. Heart lifts. Now just press gently into your low lumbar, into your sacrum, so that you may tuck the tail here and engage the low belly, and feel your shoulders lift up, back, and down. Almost as if you could bring the elbows together to touch, which they will never, but just in that general direction here. And as we inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. As we exhale, allow the hips to move forward and the shoulders to move backwards any amount. Ustrasana camel pose. Resist the urge to drop your head back. Instead, look to where the wall meets the ceiling and hold your neck strong. In and out through the nose. And a big breath in. And slow breath out. Untucking your toes, sitting back towards your heels. Let your hands rest on your shins, or on your thighs rather. Find a nice big breath here. And as you exhale, allow your head to come forward. The crown of your head now is going to plant itself on the mat as close to your knees as you can manage. And you'll tuck the toes here once more. And then from this position, hands walk back towards heels. And you might find the heels, or maybe just opposite wrists at the back of the legs. Crown of the head plants down, hips lift. Finding rabbit pose. Very minimal pressure on your head here. Feel the space between your shoulders as you breathe into this really deep stretch. And the closer the crown of the head is towards the knees, the more the hips will lift and the more sensation. So there's quite a significant rounding happening to the spine. And a nice big breath here. And then exhale to release, sitting back towards the heels, and then just shifting the hips to one side, extending the legs forward and in front. Have your book or your block or whatever object you had at the beginning, if anything. Remove the extra flesh from your sit bones. Reach your fingertips forwards. Lift and lengthen the spine, bring your shoulders back and down. And then very, very slowly, we're gonna roll bone by bone by bone. The last thing to come down will be the head. Coming all the way down to the back, you can bend into your knees and bring your heels closer towards your sit bones. And your block is handy there. Now press the palms down into the mat. Lift and tuck each shoulder blade down underneath. And as you inhale next, press into the soles of your feet. Lift your hips for bridge pose. Let your breath move in and out really deeply. And your arms should be active here. It might help to bend your elbows and really press into your triceps. And if the low back feels a little bit of a twinge, lift your heels here. That'll allow your hips to lift a little higher. Breathe in and out through the nose. Big breath in. And then very slowly, upper back first, lower, bone by bone by bone by bone, resisting the urge to bring your knees to your belly just yet. Let your heels come down. And then you can let your knees drop from left to right. And we'll find one more bridge variation. So if full wheel is in your practice and it feels good in your body to find that this evening, please feel free. You'll take your hands just behind or beside your ears rather, and lift up into your full variation. Otherwise, this time we can either choose the first bridge pose or take a more passive approach. So as we inhale to lift the hips, we might slide our block underneath the sacrum and allow the body to rest here. Breathing in and out through the nose. Allow your head to move left to right. Relax your shoulders. It might even feel nice to interlace your hands underneath the hips. Now if you're in the full wheel variation, making your way down any time, and if shoulder stand is in your practice, feel free to move there next.
Shoulder stand is not in your practice and you're using the block, you can bring your knees into your belly and then just start to extend your legs to the sky here. If full shoulder stand is in your practice, hips lift and hands come to the low back. Nice straight line for the legs.
Finding your breath in and out through the nose. From full shoulder stand, plow is a beautiful way to close, especially a deep back bending practice. And if plow is not in your practice, you might even think about just pulling your legs close to your body with your hips lifted on your block. Almost finding like a reverse forward fold on your back. And let your breath start to return to normal. Inhaling and exhaling. And as you feel complete, you can start to make your way from here all the way down onto your back for your final Shavasana. Maybe another round of just allowing those knees to drop left to right. Any final postures that your body is really asking for. It's a great time to put sweaters back on and cozy socks back on. And find a nice big breath in through your nose. Let it fill your whole belly, but let it fill your heart space. Exhale to sigh it out. Now place one hand on your heart. And then either the other on top of that hand or on your belly. And breathe in again, this time holding the breath in. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Big breath in. Exhale, release. Keep your hands here for a moment. Now just repeat quietly to yourself. And this can be to yourself or this can be to a specific person. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Last time, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. This is a beautiful way to practice forgiveness of self. To let go of all of the times that we have betrayed ourselves, either through excuses or procrastination or through intentionally harming or intentionally making decisions that are not in our best interest. And we can let that all go with this beautiful practice. Now release your hands and settle into your Shavasana. I'll leave you here in your Shavasana to linger as long as you need or as long as you are able to. Come back to the heart space as often as you can remember. This is your superpower through this crisis. And to stay grounded and rooted in your heart chakra is a very powerful place to be. We can truly heal the world with love. So let's do that together. Have a beautiful night. Stay grounded. Namaste. Thank you for joining me, everyone.